Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we got some, what is this here?
Yes.
We're doing the sound check already. Okay. So we know the sound check is good. Where's the music though? Where is the music? Boom. There it is. Now, there's somebody missing. There's somebody missing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. There he is. Rick Glaser. Rick Glaser, how are you today?
Ralph, I'm well. It's a quickly ever turning boxing business. I mean, every week there's something new to talk about, pressing issues. It's a funny thing. It's not even things that are in the ring. It's things that are out of the ring. It's unbelievable. That doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. I mean, this Canelo thing has taken on a life of all its own over here. Oscar, Golden Boy, Dazn. I mean, just nobody wants to talk about anything else but this.
It's definitely taken over. It's taken over the narrative overnight. When did it happen? I think it was last night when he came up. I ended up in a backstage chat which lasted for hours. Very animated. A lot of people have an opinion. There's some people are happy, some people are sad. I think we're gonna have to get into some of the small print. Through a lot to chop through, and without further delay, let's just say hello to the people who have come in early. We got the Fight Doctor in the building, no doubt on Rick James' status. We got the Lisa Bayliss. We got the Lisa Bayliss in the building. Hello, Raph. Hello, Rick. Excellente, excellente. Okay, let's not mess around. Let's just get straight into. As a matter of fact,
hold it, Raph.
Yeah,
Raph.
Yes.
I see my picture up there, right next to Canelo's. I'm honored. I'm honored.
Yeah. You're normally on the left, but I thought Dazn. I gave Dazn your place today. I think they earned it just for 1 week. Just for 1 week, we put them in the honored place. Put them at the head of the table. Okay.
Right next to Canelo. Wow. it's a highlight. It's a life highlight for
me. Lifetime achievement. Let's, as a matter of fact, where are we going to start with this damn thing? This Canelo thing. I think we have to go with it.
Let's go with the backstory. How's that?
Yes.
Yesterday, after months of failed negotiations because of the pandemic and because of the force majeure in the clause in the contract, they were at an impasse. And yesterday, in federal court in L.A., Saul Canelo Alvarez filed a lawsuit against Oscar De La Hoya personally, Oscar's company, Golden Boy Promotions, and Dazn, who has the exclusive right to, through electrical transmission and streaming, show all fights of Canelo's for the next 5 years, which still has 8 fights to go on the agreement. I guess now the next 4 years. Yeah. And Canelo saying he wants out. He's suing for $280 million in damages, which is the fights that he hasn't fought in, which is not damages, because how can you have damages when you haven't fought yet?
Yeah.
So, just because it's stopped right now, I don't see that. The force majeure in a contract means this. Force majeure covers anything that's unforeseen circumstances that are beyond the control of the promoter and the entire boxing industry and the media, in this case the media, and in this also case the media industry. And the force majeure is a very, very, very strong clause. People are saying it's not strong. Attorneys say it's not strong. Come on. If you have it in the agreement, okay, which it's in the agreement, then force majeure would supersede anything that's in that contract. During a state of a pandemic. A pandemic would definitely qualify as a as a category for force majeure. And that's the bottom line, that's what Dazn is basing their stand on. Canelo's the disagreeing and stuff, because Canelo's basically saying their side is, well, what do they have to do with force majeure? They have nothing to do with fans not being allowed in the building and all this kind of stuff. Well, that may be true, but because of the pandemic, we have a very bad economy, especially amongst blue-collar people right now. Who are blue-collar people is a big percentage of the people that watch boxing.
Yeah.
And they're not affording $15, $10, $15, $20 a month for extras right now. People are cutting back. Don't forget, a wife says, honey, you don't need that right now. We don't need this right now. We don't need that. All of a sudden, it's $1,000 a month they're saving in a working-class household. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the zone would be included in that. Remember one thing, in a recession, okay, paid entertainment is the first one to go. Sports, regular entertainment, when you're paying to watch. Why? Because of the fact that it's a luxury. People got to keep their heat on, their electric on. Those aren't luxuries. Those are realities. And, things like HBO in the old days, Showtime, all these things are luxury items. And, if you cut out $15 here, $20 here, $30 here, you call up the phone company and say, well, I don't need unlimited right now because I'm not working right now. You cut back there, you call up the insurance company and say, yo, I don't need this $1 million, this $300,000 rider on my house. My house is paid for now, and cut it down to 150, because the property's probably worth 150. You know what I'm saying? So the property still be there in case of a fire. So you cut here, you cut there. All of a sudden, you come up with $1,000, $1,200 a month in a working class household. That's a lot of money. So. Yeah. This is why the pandemic has affected Dazn, and because a lot of people canceled their subscriptions when the pandemic hit, and they haven't returned because Canelo hasn't been fighting yet. Mm-hmm. Okay, and when he does, they would return. But they're putting the cart in front of the horse here. I think it was wrong I think the timing was wrong for Canelo to file a lawsuit. First of all, no judges can be sympathetic with the fighter this year. Okay, when these people guaranteed him $350 million over 10 fights, not excluded, or $365 million including the first fight, which was $15 million. After that, it's $35 million a fight. Yeah, and they had been performing until the pandemic started. In other words, they were scheduled to fight in May. They had to cancel because of the pandemic. Nobody quabbled about the $35 million purse then, because they still had they still had a basis to go forward. But now they're up against it like anybody else. But let me clear this up. There's a misunderstanding about something. Everybody said Dazn's going to go out of business. Dazn is not going out of business. They may drop boxing, but Dazn as a corporate entity will still be streaming soccer events, all the other events that they do stream. Okay, they're not going out of business. They may cut down their boxing. Yes. Okay, they may put lower purses on the boxing events, but they're not going out of business. That's false. Well, let's go to Lisa Bayless. $5. Thank you, Lisa. Rafi, ring that bell. Okay, you think this is going to be done with Canelo, Oscar, Golden Boy, and Dazn, or will it be shelved? Right now, it's on the shelf. Will it be resolved? I think it will be resolved within 60 days. I think it's going to be resolved where there's some agreeable situation. If it's not 35 million, if it's not 17.5, it'll be it may be 27.5, 25 million a fight until the fans come back, or until the economy returns at a certain point. There'll be some kind of concessions in there for all parties, I believe. The problem Canelo has, this is a big problem, guys. Right. Okay, and Lisa Bayless. This is why it's a problem. Because if he went right now and got a TRO, which is a temporary restraining order, commonly referred to as a TRO, we could go fight for somebody else. The problem he's got is nobody's gonna give him $35 million to fight. So then the judge is gonna say, hold it. How much did you get offered? Well, I got offered $15 million to fight, and you accepted that. So he's got a problem here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the force majeure. But now the judge will say, hold it. And the force majeure is real, isn't it? So he's got a big dilemma to deal with here, all the way around. So, and the guy I feel bad for, to be honest with you, and I like him. I admire what he's done in the sport as a fighter, and he's done well as a promoter, is Oscar De La Hoya. All he did was get Canelo the richest contract in boxing from Dazn. Now he's getting blamed.
Good point.
That's what it amounts to, and that's a shame. That really is a shame, because he did well for Canelo getting in this deal. Okay, and listen, we wouldn't be having this problem today if there was no pandemic. There would never be an issue, because there would be nothing to hang the force majeure clause. There's nothing to hang your hat on with force majeure if there was no pandemic. So it's not a pretty situation for anybody to be involved in this mess. But I will tell you one thing, okay, who it's going to help. Okay, it's going to help Dazn. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because they're putting their foot down on these ridiculous contracts, whether it's with the Golden Boy, Canelo, Eddie Hearn. Those days of just flaunting money are over with, and everything's going to come back down to reality, and that's what it should be. I mean, some of these purses that Eddie Hearn pays these guys, I mean, $9.7 million for Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas is still mind-boggling months later. Okay, Chavez versus Danny Jacobs, $10 million, mind-boggling. I mean, where do they come up with these figures from? They're so far out of reality. We're not talking about hundreds of thousands here. We're talking about like 3 times the amount. I'll give you an idea. Mikey Garcia's fight with Jesse Vargas was probably worth 2.5 million. He paid him 9.7. Danny Jacobs and Chavez, probably $3 million total between the two of them, 3.5 million max.
Daniel Jacobs, he's worth 5. He's worth 5, surely. No,
not against Chavez.
Okay.
I mean, if he's fighting, Canelo's worth he got a lot more. If he's fighting DJ Saunders or Mike Callum Smith over in the UK, that's really worth a lot of money. But he's not worth a lot of money fighting Chavez. That was a gimme win. Whoever paid a lot of money for a gimme win? Come on, ridiculous. The only guy who got a lot of money for before Eddie came along, the only person that had a lot of money was 25 years ago. Peter McNeely, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson got $25 million to fight Peter McNeely, fresh out of prison.
That's Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff out. That's real stuff out.
Talk about a reload on your finances quickly and swiftly. That was it.
Yeah.
But basically speaking, this is a hot mess. It's not good for boxing. It's not good for anybody, but like I said, there'll be some winners here. The attorneys are always winners. They make money no matter what, win, lose, or draw. I put it up on Twitter today. It doesn't matter if attorney wins or loses in this case, he's still going to get paid. On Canelo's attorney, if they lose, he still gets paid. You know, attorneys force lawsuits just to drum up business. They do it. It's a big habit of them. Just like stockbrokers, they do that churning. Same thing. That's what this is, a form of churning for a lawyer. That's what it amounts to.
Yes. And let me ring the tin for Lisa. Lisa, much appreciation goes out on behalf of myself and Rick. Much appreciation for showing appreciation. And Kent S.
The only problem is most people put a donation. They put a question along with the donation. You don't have a question. and he's putting five in. Wow, what a bargain he is.
Kent S, get your question in, my friend. Get your question in. You don't have to put a question in, but you know, if you put the super chat in, you can throw a question in there if you so wish. But you are not obliged. But we are happy that you could contribute. Much appreciation, much appreciation. And right about now, I'm going to take a couple of seconds out to acknowledge everybody currently in the chat. Okay, so we got the Fight Doctor, we got the Lisa Bayliss, much appreciation, Lisa. We got the Chiz Biz, big up Rafi, big up Rick. Who else we got? We got we got the Madman. We got the Madman. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that Madman right about now. I just want to stick on the Canelo thing for a couple of minutes, but get all your questions in. Don't worry, we'll get back to them. Just want to acknowledge everyone. Jay Perez, good to have you up in here. Nigel Dennis, the Fight Doctor again, and of course, Kent S. and Bible English, Pablo Diablo. Okay. All right, so Rick, I'm going to get to your question. Get your question in, folks, and I'm going to get to them shortly. But right now, we've got to clear up this Canelo mess. Okay, so as I'm seeing it, Rick, who has reason to celebrate about the demise of the zone? Who has reason to celebrate?
Well, there's no demise yet. Okay. Could there be a demise of boxing on the zone? Yeah, there could be. I would say a Top Rank would be one, a Showtime, Fox, PBC. All the major players, the streaming providers and the promoters that aren't with the zone. That's what That's pretty clear. But the only people celebrating right now today are the lawyers. They already got paid.
Yeah. I said that. I mentioned that elsewhere. I mentioned elsewhere that the lawyers would be the winner in this one, Rick.
If that lawyer was eating pork and beans, he's now eating lobster, shrimp, and steak.
Damn, with a side order of caviar, no doubt. Okay, so yeah, the only people who really have cause to celebrate what could be the possible demise of the boxing arm of the zone. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the whole of the zone. We're talking about the boxing arm of the zone. Right.
Yeah, like I said, Showtime would be one. Have to be one. ESPN, Fox, Heyman, Bob Arum, Top Rank, all the normal suspects. So that's the way you got to look at it.
Yes. Okay, so I don't know if people really are looking into it. I don't know if people have actually looked at the article, but when I look at the article, what it seems to say to me is that it's really, this whole thing is over the one fight which the zone have said he's going to have to take a haircut. He's going to have to take a haircut on that one, 50% haircut. And so Canelo is going to be clear to the people who don't know or who are unclear. The situation.
There's another issue. In the contract, it says he's got to fight one premium fight a year and one non-premium fight a year. A premium fight would be considered who he'd be fighting. He's calling the zone said that Callum Smith and BJ Saunders are not premium opponents, two undefeated world champions. Saunders is on his second division title, second weight class title. And he's saying that the owner's saying those are not premium opponents. I don't know what gets more premium than those two guys. That's a little shocking and appalling to me. That shows no respect for fighters, to me.
Yeah, well, so they're saying they're not premium. They don't consider them premium. And
they're premium. There's nothing. Listen, I'm not a fan of BJ Saunders. I'm not a fan of McCallum Smith. I mean, they're good fighters. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like jumping up and down. I can't wait to see BJ Saunders' next fight, or I can't wait to see Callum Smith's next fight. But they are premium fighters. There's no question about that. They're world champion, A-level, undefeated world champs. They are premium fighters. DAZN is sorely mistaken about that. Sorely mistaken.
So there's that element as well. It's not just about the fight. It's not just about taking a pay cut or taking a hit.
It's classifications of the fighters.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is they turned down Yadim, the fighter from Turkey. The fighter from Turkey, Yadim, and and WBC said they could, that's mandated for the vacant title. I mean, you either got a contract with a fighter or you don't perform.
Yeah.
I mean, Canelo's wrong about the money under the circumstances, but DAZN is wrong about points here too. You know, I mean, I'm not taking sides. I'm just spouting out the facts. You know, the only one that's right about everything is Golden Boy, because they're fighting for Canelo, that these guys are premium opponents, and this bastard Canelo goes and sues Oscar too. I mean, come on. Talk about throwing shit against the wall and hope some of it sticks. That's typical. That's typical of what an attorney will do. You know, but you know what? It is what it is. You know, as far as that goes.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's not as clear cut as some people think. Some people are acting as if it's some kind of slam dunk for Canelo. He's just going to walk in there and the judge is going to say, here you are, Mr. Canelo. Have you got a large suitcase? Do you have a large van that you can back up around the back of the DAZN headquarters so they can pay you? I don't think it's not going to be that simple. It's not going to be that straightforward, Rick, as you've quite rightly
no. With that force majeure and with the COVID, and they filed their lawsuit way too soon. If they would have filed the lawsuit where they would have missed another fight, in other words, in November, let's say they would have fought in November, and they would have missed one more fight, and they kept trying to make this fight where they could have made a fight for like January and then come back in May. Okay, then that's different. But this is way too early, way too early. So this is drummed up by the attorney, and I don't agree with it at all. I don't mean, he's probably got, Canelo. Oh, I can't negotiate. We've got to sue. Okay, well, give me 500,000. We can sue. Okay, here's 500. Oh, okay, now the lawyer just won. See, I wrote today on Twitter. I wish lawyers are considered counselors. I wish an attorney would act like more of a counselor than they would have an attorney. America would be a better place.
Yes. But what was the alternative? What was the alternative? What, talking?
Well, they could have continued to try to work this out. DAZN could have said, hey, okay, this is a premium opponent. We were wrong. We'll pay you this, but we're not going to pay you that because of the pandemic. Something they could. There's got to be give and take here, but everybody's so stubborn. Don't forget now. You got a fighter that's probably worth $100 million. You got Oscar who's probably worth $200 million, and you got a multi-billion-dollar commercial concern in the multi-continent world brand in DAZN with deep pockets. I mean, they're not in financial trouble overall. Their boxing maybe have troubles, but overall they're not. They just got the Bangladesh soccer thing for $4.8 billion or some friggin' thing. So since this happened, this Canelo thing happened. So I don't mean the lawsuit, but since the problem started, so they're not in financial trouble. People got to get that out of their mouths and off their lips. Fucking, it's stupid,
OMG. Rick's trying to get me demonetized, people, with the F-bombs. Okay, as we move forward, let's get into some of the comments, some of the questions from the chat. Okay, let's look at what we got. Okay, so Madman. Okay, let's open up the forum now and talk about anything. Okay, so Madman says, ask Rick what he thinks of the LDBC claiming they are the mainstream media for Gary and for Russell and Haney. Let me just bring you up to speed. Okay, so the negotiations for Haney versus Russell have largely and ostensibly taken place on certain channels. They've been going back and forth on live shows, much like this. And Russell's brother and Haney's father, Bill Haney, they've been thrashing out the deal literally live on live shows. And this happened over there, certain channels. What do you say to that? What do you say to deals being made over live shows? What do you say to that?
I mean, okay,
got the deal. They got the deal kind of almost made. It seems
great. I don't know where they're making the fight. I mean, they're putting up the money. LDBCs are putting up the money. They just better hope it's not on pay-per-view, because if it was, they would be putting up the money unless there was 60 people in one room paying $1.25 a piece. So, I don't know. That's like a question of, like, who's on first if you're a blind man and there's no announcer. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah. Did they drive the fight to happen on the internet? Maybe they did. Maybe they got the two fighters riled up towards one another, but that's not putting on a fight. And that's not putting on a fight. Let's put it that way to you.
Yeah.
They didn't make the fight.
They didn't make the fight. They didn't put the fight on. They're not paying out the.
As we say in America, they're not the promoters, and as you guys say over there in the UK, they're not the organizers.
There we go. So if they played a part, that's cool. If they played a part, that's cool. I don't think it's gonna change the model. But I'm happy if they put the two heads together and made something happen. I'm happy with that. I'm cool with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, if LDBC did something like that and they were really involved, that's the first constructive thing they've done in 10 years since they were formed.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes. And as we move on, let's go. What's up? Where are we? Okay, that's a question here. Nigel Dennis up in the building. Does Canelo actually want a big fight right now, or is he just looking for easy pickings for big money?
Well, that's the big multi-million, $35 million question, because he's saying he'll fight BJ Saunders. The problem is DAZN saying it's not a premium opponent. That's where he's drawing the line. And he was willing to take a little less under the pandemic situation, but they wanted to pay him $17.5 million. I'm sure he would have fought for $27.5 million. But there's been negotiations with no resolve. Months of negotiations, no resolve. I still think it was too soon to file this lawsuit. I don't think the judge is going to be very sympathetic right now under the circumstances that so many Americans are unemployed, with a bad economy and a bad situation. And here this guy's saying, "Well, I didn't fight for 20. I didn't fight for 17.5 million. I want my 35 million." I don't think a judge is going to be fired for him, especially if he pulls up in court with his Lamborghini or whatever what he's got.
Having said that, in mitigation in favor of Canelo, he did say that there was talk, I don't know if it's in the papers, there was talk that he was prepared to accept a 30% pay cut, not 50%.
Okay, 30% is $10.5 million off the top of my head. Yeah. Okay, so it's $24.5 million. Okay, that's great. But they were offering $17.5 million. Now, there's another way to look at this thing. And look at this thing is that maybe DAZN has buyer's remorse, and they don't even want to pay him. They don't even want to pay him $17.5 million. But the fact they offered that, just for a smoke screen, they were hoping he didn't accept because they don't want to put his fights on right now.
Yeah.
We don't know that. We don't know what's behind all the decisions being made by DAZN. We don't know that. No, the other thing is they could be controlling the situation. There's an expression called Fifth Avenue freeze out. Okay, it's a old New York City expression, and they could try to be doing the Fifth Avenue freeze out on him, which could be true. Which means normally freeze the guy out till he's starving to death, but he's not going to starve because he's got a lot of money saved. But the fact is that he's not earning will get him irked. You know, don't forget, when you're spending money and you're not making it, you get irked.
Yes. So explain the Fifth Avenue freeze out to me again.
Well, what that is they freeze you out. Normally, if they know a guy needs money, or the company needs money, they freeze you out till you agree to take their terms, and to literally, like, you know, have them beg, having the people beg that are in trouble. Okay, but that's not the case here. But it's a form of Fifth Avenue. It might be a form of Fifth Avenue freeze out, where the guy's saying, "Hey, I'm spending $10 million a year and I'm not making any money. I just paid the lawyer $1 million. I got to owe the lawyer another $500 million. I got to fucking fight." Yeah. So I don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know what's in the mind of Dazn, and we don't know what's in the mind of Canelo. I'd rather know what's in the mind of Dazn, okay, because those guys are educated people. And, you know, high, big jobs, big executive positions where some fighter, I'd rather know what the zone is thinking, and that would help more or less, you know, come up with a remedy to cure this ugly situation.
Yes. Okay, so let us move on. Okay, so the fight doctor, Mr. T. White, says, what good is having the richest contract in boxing if the broadcaster doesn't want to pay?
Well, under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be happening. It's all pandemic related. That's what it is. They'd be paying, right now, if it wasn't for the pandemic. So we are in a pandemic situation right now. And we will continue to be till they come up with a vaccine.
Yes. It's a pandemic situation. I don't know how long can we expect to wait for some kind of results to come through, because this thing could drag out.
You mean result? No, this thing will be cured up in 60 to 75 days. So he can fight in early after the first of the year and then come back in May again. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Remember, he hasn't fought since last November the 2nd, since the Kovalev fight. It's an awful long time.
That's a long time.
It'll be at least a year. It'll be at least a year now before he fights. Because, you know, he's not fighting right now in September or October. Could he fight if they settled right now? Could he fight at the end of November? Yes. Still a year.
Yeah. Still a year. Okay. So She's Biz says, I'm sure Canelo wants out of Golden Boy, and I'm sure Eddie is rubbing his hands.
Well, I mean, it's sad that Eddie will, if Eddie is doing that, it's sad that Eddie would have that mentality that he's happy for somebody else's demise so he can grab the fighter. But that's Eddie. Eddie's about himself.
Well, it's any promoter.
No, it's not. I know a lot of people that are hoping Oscar sticks with the fighter. People have called me since this happened last night. Other promoters, managers, matchmakers, booking agents. People call me, and I hope Oscar wins this. You know, we need Oscar in the business. So that's not true. I even had a representation of one of the big companies calling me up to talk to me about something. Oh yeah, what do you think about the Canelo thing? He said. I said, how do you feel? He said, well, I hope Canelo retains him. It would be a shame if we lost Oscar as a promoter, because, you know, Oscar's big part of Oscar's business is Canelo. The up-and-comers like Garcia and Virgil Ortiz isn't far enough along to now. Could they run right now Golden Boy without Canelo? They have to lay off an awful lot of people and go down to a skeleton staff of 5 if by chance they lost Canelo, they'd have a skeleton crew of 5. So this is big for the. There's a lot of things. Don't forget it. What about all the fighters that are on Oscars on Oscar shows on the undercards that are on the zone and guys like Garcia, guys like Virgil. Virgil Ortiz doesn't know what his next fight is right now. This is not pretty. This is affecting a lot of people.
So, Canelo, would you say it's fair that keeping Canelo is of the utmost importance to the survival of?
Oh, not even a question. To survival to stay at the level they're at. If he wants to go down to 5 employees and become a small company again, a small company, regress. Okay, then that's the answer. But to stay at that top level, he needs that strong horse. Remember, he's got a lot of champions right now. I believe he's got 7 champs total, including Canelo. But he's got 6 champs at the world. One guy's 108, or one guy's, I don't know, some of the smaller weight classes. And he doesn't have, Patrick Teixeira, the WBO 154-pound champ. He's got a mandatory coming up, and nobody really knows him. He just won the title. He hasn't even had a defense. He was there, won the title, and at the end of November, early December, I was there in Vegas at the Cosmopolitan for the fight.
Yeah,
he beat Carlos Adames. But he needs this strong horse right here. Oscar needs this strong horse. That's what it amounts to.
Needs him. He needs him. There ain't no benefit in not being with Canelo. They want to keep him. Shisby says Canelo can be a free agent and work with whoever.
Well, that probably won't happen. The problem with Canelo's thinking is that he's tying Oscar in with Dazn. Oscar's his promoter. He brought him the deal. Okay, and it was beneficial for Oscar. Did the right thing. He said he broke his fiduciary duty because he didn't go out and find him another network to fight on. He's got a contract. What are you talking about? Exploring other options besides Dazn. There's no other options. Then Oscar would be torturously interfering with the contract that he's involved with.
Yeah,
it's crazy. This is absurd.
That's absurd. You're right. It's absurd. It's utterly absurd. I'm glad you put it that way, because part of the lawsuit, is Canelo is saying, or Canelo's legal people are saying, that they're blaming Oscar for not going out and finding him another fight with another promoter.
Can't do that.
Which cannot be done. That would be breach of contract on the part of Golden Boy.
Right. And Canelo, as representation for Canelo, yes.
So that's utter poppycock.
Right.
Don't make no sense whatsoever. I want to reiterate the point, because it's a point I've been talking to people about it, and it's a point which has been overlooked. So let me say it one more time with feeling. Part of Canelo's lawsuit is that he is complaining that Oscar, Golden Boy, did not go out and find him another fight when Dazn cut his income for the next fight in half. He's blaming Oscar, and that would be what? That would be a conflict. That would be a breach of contract if Golden.
Yeah, definitely a breach of contract. I mean, it's awful that an attorney would even say that. The attorney's basically saying, "Oh, they failed to breach the contract by going out and getting another promoter." It's crazy.
That's big. That's big. That is very, very. That's a big point, folks. It's a point which has been overlooked, but now we're. Where are we? 100%, Lisa. Much appreciated. Okay, so Ruben Guerrero is up in the building and says, "Does Rick think the Canelo situation is him being a bit too much of a diva, or Dazn being stupid enough to let him?" That's a tricky one.
Here, can I swear? Brilliant fucking question.
Oh man, OMG.
Okay. Ruben Guerrero, you got permanent points with me for that question. I think it's both. I think he's being a diva, and I think Dazn has been stupid right along in this deal. I'm not okay, and I think it's a
how would Dazn stupid?
Well, they overpaid him to start with. They were bidding against themselves. Who's going to pay him $35 million? Who's going to pay him $30 million?
They were bidding against themselves, people.
That was the target to start with. That's why they're having buyer's remorse. If they would have paid him $20 million a fight, we wouldn't be having this problem. Right?
That's a big. Hold on, folks. Please just absorb this. Absorb this. Absorb this. Take it in, please. Because I think it's a key point. They were bidding against their own damn selves.
Who was going to pay anywhere near that? There was no competitors. Bob Arum's not stupid enough to pay that kind of money. He'll say, I give you $20 million and I'll give you $8 for every pay-per-view after that. Something like that he would do if he put it on pay-per-view. That's what somebody would do with any common sense. Once I make a profit, once we do X amount of buys and we get our money back, then you get $8 a buy. If it does 1 million buys, you get another $8 million. I mean, come on. This contract was ludicrous. And not to have total control over who he fights, mutual. Why would he want to fight somebody tough? He's getting $35 million. Where's the incentives? Come on. This is this is elementary school shit. Yeah. This is boxing 101.
Yeah. Please. Yeah. Okay. So
why is Al Heyman's name on there?
Right. Well, I know why. He didn't say why, but I know why he wrote it. So I'm going to tell you why he wrote it. People are talking. People are speculating about who Canelo.
Al Heyman and Showtime don't have the money to put up to bring in Canelo. Stop. And Fox ain't putting up that kind of money. They got to put up $40 million with the opponent. Okay? Come on. Who's doing that in this day and age right now? No crowd, a bad economy. It wasn't worth that in a good economy. With crowds. Come on, guys. Al Heyman. Al Heyman is not the end-all savior for mankind. Trust me. Please.
What about
Jamel Herring? Look what happened to Jamel Herring. He loses with what's his name at 35. Al tells me he's 35. The kid say, "No, I'm 30." No, you're 35. He gets down to 30. He wins 3 fights. Top Rank puts him in for the world title, and now he's fighting. Now he just defended his world title again that he won for like the 3rd time already. And he was with Al Heyman. He was an afterthought. Come on, guys. He's not an end all. Okay, he's no different than anybody else in boxing. He can make deals. He doesn't make some deals. He makes others. He screws up like anybody else. Fact of life.
Okay, well, since we're talking about Al Heyman, we're going to get back in the chat. Keep your questions coming in the chat. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can stay updated with news and notifications. So since we're talking about Al,
how that ITV deal work out over in the UK for Al Heyman?
Yeah,
and ITV that went off at what, 2 shows? Done.
Done.
5-year deal. 5-year deal. 12 shows a year. 2 shows. Done.
Do you know?
Not an end all. Not an end all, folks. Stop, please.
Do you know why? Do you know why? There's only 2 shows. Do you know why?
No, I don't. I don't profess to know everything, just a lot.
No, yeah. It's strange. It's interesting. You're right. It was only 2 fights and boom, 2 cards and boom, he was gone. I didn't even realize he was gone, but it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. We don't see it, so it ain't there.
Deal, at minimum of 6 fights a year, as many as 1 fight a month, and 2 fights. Down the road she went. They threw his ass out.
Dang.
Why don't somebody call Versus or NBC Sportsnet, okay, and find out why they're not doing boxing anymore, and Spike and these other, because Al Heyman screwed those deals up.
Wow.
For putting on shitty fights.
Wow.
And too many pullouts and fallouts and guys overweight and supposed to be title fights. Then the champion doesn't make the weight, so it's only a title fight if the challenger wins, but the challenger didn't win. Now you're sitting there. Please stop. Retarded.
I'm gonna text your lady wife and tell her to keep you off the blue Smarties, Rick. I'm going to tell it to keep you off the blue Smarties.
Hold on, keep just stepping out for a moment.
The American market that suffers. I mean, us in the UK, it's no skin off my nose, because really and truly, some of the fights that were going over to the USA now, they're going to be over here in the UK. So really and truly, as a UK, a resident, if the zone fails, then that doesn't really impact me or the UK. It impacts you guys. You guys don't get to see cross-promotional. You guys miss out on the
big man is bad
stuff. Yeah. You guys miss out on the promotional stuff if the zone, what does it say? If the zone is done in America. Rick Glaser, the zone is done in America.
I don't know if they're done in America. I wouldn't get that far. Oscar's got a lot of good up-and-coming fighters like Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz and a bunch of champions that they could show. That's not 35 or 40 million bucks. That's, $1 million a show, $1.5 million a show, and put on some great fights with world champs and top up-and-comers. So I don't agree that they're done.
Is it well? That's the same question there. You don't agree that they're done. The question was: is it possible the zone goes out of the American market?
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think they're done because of this. They might go out a year or 6 months or 2 years, but they're not done because of this. That's for sure.
So how do they resolve this thing with Canelo? Do you have any idea? How does it get
settled? There'll be a settlement in the lawsuit where they go on and they'll agree to fight. First of all, the zone's got to allow these fighters like Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith to be premium opponents. If they're not considered premium opponents, then the zone needs to leave everything. They just need to go away, period, because that's a ridiculous statement. Ridiculous. Undefeated world champions, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially two left-handers that can box their ass off.
Yeah. Tricky. And then you got Andrade in there as well, but I know you don't want to talk about Andrade.
I don't want to fall asleep while talking about him.
Yeah. What does Pablo? You wrote. You're gonna. I don't know. Getting shut out by other promoters. Dan stepped into the shoes of HBO, literally and figuratively.
I'm not sure what. Okay, Asia stepped into the shoes of HBO, literally and figuratively.
HBO.
I don't know. I think that the format is completely different. Not only TV to streaming, regular cable to streaming. Don't get premium cable to streaming, but I also think the style of fights that they're putting on, I think is totally different. I think that HBO tried to put on more premium events where Showtime is more. Zone is more across the board. Oscar's got its Friday night series that are more low key. So I don't agree with that. But if you're looking at it by the time frame where HBO left the game and the zone came in, you want to say they stepped into the shoes. Yeah, but it's totally different. Let's not confuse issues. And also, one's an American company and one is a global company. So it's apples and oranges in reality.
Apples and oranges in reality. Okay, Pablo Diablo. I don't know if it's you writing in the chat. I don't know if it's legitimately you, but you wrote something earlier, which is of a personal nature. I don't know if it's you or a parody account. I'm not sure, but hit me up. If it is you, hit me up after the show and we can have a chat if you got any issues.
Whoa. What was this personal thing?
He's not apparently he's not in a happy place right now. And so I'm not going to say what he wrote, but hit me up after the show by email and we can have a chat. All I can say is that, it's just life, mate. It's life. You just got to fight through it, mate. You just got to fight through it. It's the COVID era. A lot of people are in a bad place, but you got to fight through it. Hit me up with an email and we can have a chat. Just fight through it. Stick in there. Stick in there. Stick in there. Everybody, that's a message to everybody. Stick in there. Get outside when the sun's shining. Go for a walk. Walk your dog. Walk yourself. Whatever. Walk through the park. Elevate your mood.
You better start asking more questions, or I'm going to take a walk. Hurry up. Come on now. Fire away.
Yeah, I had to do that. I had to talk to the man. Okay. So the Zone still want Canelo versus Triple G.
Yeah, because they got a contract. Because they got a contract with GGG that guaranteed him the fight. That's why.
Yeah. So it's got to happen.
Yeah,
got to happen. And talking about the lawsuit, I'm pretty sure that the Zone are going to say they tried to make the fight, and Canelo said no. So that's going to be mitigating circumstances if that happens. Okay. Premium fighters. Who defines what is a premium fighter?
Well, a guy like me is supposed to determine it. A guy with knows boxing. They got TV executives, determining it. It's like, that doesn't work for me.
Maybe they got mathematicians. Maybe the accountants are the one who are determining it. Okay, let's have a look. Canelo's contract is with Golden Boy, not the Zone. Canelo is only
False.
Okay.
False.
You want to clarify that, Rick?
It's false.
Okay.
He signed a contract with the Zone with Oscar. It was a three-way contract. Okay, so that's false. Completely false.
Could we see Canelo sit for a while until the lawsuit is completely ended?
I don't know that. That's it could happen that way, but I doubt it. It could take years, but I think it's going to be settled in 60 to 75 days. That's my prediction. It's not going to go too far. Common sense. Common sense has to prevail amongst the parties. The Zone's got to recognize that B.J. Saunders and McCallum Smith are premium opponents. If they don't recognize that, they're dead. They're dead.
Yeah. Yes.
Because Canelo's side and Oscar's side will hire an expert witness like myself, and I would definitely say that they're premium opponents. Please, I don't understand what's not premium about those two.
Yeah, I hear you.
Man. Okay, Rick, how bad is it for the sport overall if the Zone leaves boxing? Not good. Not good.
Not good at all.
No, you're pumping that much money in the box. Anybody that's pumping $150 million a year in the boxing, $200 million a year in the boxing and leave is not good. Not a good thing.
Okay, so where are we?
Could you imagine? Let me ask you a question. Could you imagine Grand Prix racing without sponsors?
No.
Same thing. Thank you.
Let's go. Kent S. I think he should just change his name to Superman or Clark Kent, something like that. I would like to know who are the premium opponents that the Zone demands.
They said Oscar himself and Kareem, whatever those two MMA fighters, Jose Maverval or whatever their names are. Two of them have never had gloves on. One guy hasn't fought in 15 years or 12 years or something like that. I mean, this is funny. This is comical. This is absolutely comical. The problem is they've been watching their own YouTubers, those YouTubers and the Zone fight too long. They think it's a freak show now.
Yeah. Looking at the freak show thing. How does this end? Canelo versus Golden Boy Promotions.
It'll end where everybody's on the same page again.
They only want the glove.
Put it this way to you. The Zone might be out and Oscar still be in. That could really happen too.
Dang. They only want.
Listen, I got to tell you a real quick funny story.
Yeah.
It's on my mind.
Hit me.
So I had an ex-girlfriend call me up the other day from years ago, and she calls every once in a while when she needs advice, buying a car. She calls me up and she says to me, "Rick, I need to borrow some money from you."
Oh no.
I said, "I'm not a lender, nor am I a borrower." And I says, "I have a problem. how much do you need? She says 5,000. I says, well, your credit's only good up to $100.
Yeah.
I says, so I got $100 for you. She says, well, I'm living in Florida. I says, okay. I says, there's a lot of banks down there between here and Buffalo.
Yeah.
To get your 5,000. I said, you got good credit though. She says, yeah, but I have a problem. Blah blah blah. I says, okay, I can't help you. I'm married now, and I says, I just can't help you. There's no way. So 10 minutes later, I had a guy call me up, a friend of mine, and he knows her too. I just got a call from such and such that she needs to borrow 5,000. I'm sorry. I need to borrow 2,500. I said, well, she called me up asking for 5. Well, she goes, she says, he goes, I know you got more money than I do, so she only asked me for half.
Damn.
Fire away. Come on now.
Or she called a few other ex-boyfriends.
Oh, anybody she threw her legs up in the air for got on her knees. That's who she called.
OMG.
Fire away. Come on now.
Okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. What we got now.
Yeah, they only wanted the Canelo fight because he's a premium opponent. It was 2 great fights, and they were big hits, and everybody's waiting for a third fight. The only one's not waiting for a third fight is Canelo and Oscar. Because they know it's a real fight, even though that I think that the GGG is on the back 9 heading for the clubhouse. But they don't look at it that way.
They don't look at it that way. So Roger Lee up in the building and says, Rick, how will Inoue versus Jason Maloney play?
I'll be honest with you. It's a sensational fight until somebody gets knocked out. I mean, obviously, Nui will be the favorite, but Jason Maloney is no joke. He's got balls down to his ankles, and he's going to bring it. I mean, it's going to be a great fight, and he will reach Nui. So who knows? I mean, Nui got hit a few times with what's his name there, Donaire. I mean, he's a little shaky when he gets hit.
Yeah.
So who knows? Anything could happen in the fight. Who do I think wins? I think that Nui wins, but as long as it lasts, it's going to be a fight, and Nui will know he's in a fight. Jason Maloney's got a big heart.
A big heart. So Bible English. Never seen him in the chat before. How do you do, Bible English? You assume that Canelo does not already have a new deal, and that it is the first step in that deal, freeing himself from the old one. I think Bible English.
He doesn't have a new deal because if they ever took the phone records from his lawyer, or Canelo or any representation of Canelo, and they ever took their phone records, email addresses, there'd be a lawsuit like you wouldn't even believe it. Nobody, including Bob Arum, would get involved in doing something like that. Nobody, and it makes no sense. Let me ask you a question. Why would somebody why would somebody want to purchase aggravation? That's what you're doing. You're purchasing aggravation. Well, I got to pay the guy $35 million, and I might get sued. Oh, this is a great deal. I got to jump into this head first. Nobody with that kind of money to spend is going to go do that. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Don't make no sense at all, Nigel. Dennis asked Rick, do we know?
Remember something. We're not talking about desperate promoters here. We're talking about TV networks and people with wherewithal. Guys like Bob Arum, Oscar, Eddie. They're not going to do that. They're not desperados.
Desperados. Nigel Dennis asks Rick, do we know how many subscribers Canelo brought to Dazn, and how is Dazn boxing actually doing in the USA?
Well, it's a funny thing. Okay. They're not doing badly, but they're not making any money on Canelo's fights. But overall, they're not doing badly. Okay. So they're not announcing the numbers, but I know except for the Canelo situation, they've been pretty happy with the results from boxing.
Yeah. Okay. Rick, Uncle Burnt apostrophe up in the building says, Rick, is this Eddie Hearn's fault?
No, it's not Eddie Hearn's fault. No, nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. Zero.
Nothing to do with Eddie Hearn this time. Not this time.
Eddie's to blame. Eddie's to blame for everything but the Hindenburg and the Titanic. But I can't blame him for this.
OMG. So the fight doctor says Al Heyman isn't the savior of boxing, but he also isn't currently being sued for 280 million US dollars.
Where's there a correlation? He's getting there's a lawsuit being held back by Wild Reed right now for 550 million plus punitive damages. The only reason why they did because he gave back the last 39 million of that it was in that fund, that 550 million, and it held off the lawsuit for 30 years to see if they can turn a profit. So that Al Heyman's got his own issues to deal with. Trust me.
Al Heyman is in some people might say he's in quicksand. The fight.
Well, listen. I don't wish anybody that's putting money into boxing or organizing boxing events or working in the best interest of fighters. I don't have any problem with them. Anybody. But in the meantime, he took $550 million, ran it through it in 30 months. It's a little embarrassing, isn't it? How do you lose $18.5 million a month? It's pretty hard.
OMG. Lisa Bayliss up in the building says, I agree, but I'd rather see Canelo versus Charlo Bivol, Beterbiev, Andrade, Benavides, or Plant.
You'll never see him versus Beterbiev, so forget that one.
Yeah.
No way, no how. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That ain't happening. Yeah. Canelo doesn't need Beterbiev.
Oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Too good. Beterbiev, too good, too strong. Too good.
And who would want to watch Andrade run around the ring and do all that wacky shit he does? Nobody wants to see that. He brings nothing to the table. There's nothing he has Canelo wants.
Damn. What about I hear what you're saying. Usyk Chisora is a great fight.
I wouldn't call it a great fight. I call it, at least it's going to be a real good fight. How good it's going to be, we'll see. But it's going to be a good fight. Usyk's never in great fights, folks. He's too slick of a boxer, too fast, and he's safety first. So he's never in great fights. Yeah. So I would not call that a great fight. It's a good fight. It'll be competitive, but it's not. There's nothing great about. There's not going to be a great fight. I can't see that.
What if Chisora chins him? What if Chisora catches him on the chin and makes him?
That doesn't make it a great fight. He knocks him out. Oh, great! That's fantastic. Then they don't have to hear about Usyk being the WBO mandatory anymore. Then they got to wait another year for Chisora if they make him number one. So that's great. I got no problem with that. Usyk doesn't bring anything to the table. There's no fans coming for Usyk anywhere.
Damn. That's true. The uncomfortable truth being spoken here on Ask Rick, right here on Boxing Talk with Rafi 170. This is the 22nd edition of Ask Rick. So kindly, if you're enjoying the show, and I'm sure you are, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and for sure, hit that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Okay, so Iron Kong in the building says, seeing people literally rejoicing that the zone might go away is crazy. Celebrating having to pay $80 for one good fight on a pay-per-view.
Well said. Iron Kong 26. Well said. It's the truth.
Why are they celebrating? What possible cause could they be for celebration?
Who knows? Maybe they don't like Eddie Hearn. Maybe they don't like Oscar. Maybe because they made the LDBCers, because it's made such a big impact into the boxing, taken away from Heyman, guys that would be signed with Heyman. So many different reasons. Who knows? None of it's good.
Other than Troy.
What is your opinion on Ben Davidson? Okay, my opinion on Ben Davidson is that he's a very nice guy, and he's a very nice guy, and in 10 years his name will still be Ben Davidson. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, from my recollection, the zone wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms. I was happy that there was another platform to view boxing, so I like the zone along with other network platforms. Yes, That's balance.
It's a balance. Great comment. It's true.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
All I know is one thing. Okay. They provide boxing entertainment. They put up big money for boxing, and I wish them nothing but the best. But to call Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders not premium opponents, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Yes. And Kong says
the Canelo and GB in a while wasn't actually pretty much banned from Canelo's camp. Yeah, but they had straightened that out a little bit because he sided with Canelo in this problem, and now he's getting sued because he's on that contract too. So it's what, it's all good. This will weed itself out. Trust me.
Okay.
Now listen, we've been talking about this for 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's 75 minutes if my arithmetic's good today. Let's talk about Sparko.
Okay. OMG. Okay. So Dillian White came out in the press. Anybody who hasn't seen it, go check my video.
By the way, you can still ask Canelo questions, but let's just talk about something else. I'll answer the more Canelo questions.
We're going to talk about Sparko a bit. And so Dillian White said, I wasn't Sparko, which means for our foreign friends, I wasn't knocked out. I wasn't knocked sparked out. I wasn't Sparko. I got right back up. But Dilly, I've interviewed your head trainer now two time, and really cool guy, knows his stuff, and he's dedicated to his craft. So we like you over here. I don't know about Rick, but we like you over here. But
I like Dillian White. I just think it's a bizarre comment. The guy was asleep on the zone. And what was it over there on Sky TV?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was asleep.
He was asleep.
You can't get more knocked out than that. I mean, I don't understand it. I watched after he said that. I watched it again. His toes were straight up. His legs were out like this. Okay. His eyes were shut. His eyes were shut as soon as he got hit before he hit the canvas. He was out.
He was out. He was Sparko.
He was sparked out. Trust me.
You was sparked out. Dill, we like you, but you were sparked out, and you didn't hear the referee count to 6.
The referee didn't count. He never counted. He didn't have to. He was out. The eyes were shut. He wasn't moving.
The referee didn't count to 6.
What was there to count to? What was there to count? What was the purpose? He would have been counting to 1,000. Come on now.
I forgot.
The referee couldn't count that high.
The referee didn't count. So Dillian said he heard the referee count to 6. And then as he was trying to get up, the referee said, No, you got hit bad. You got hit bad.
The referee never even counted.
So
I didn't see the referee count.
There was no count. Dill, your imagination's playing tricks on you, my friend. All you need to do is stay on with the training, but forget about it. Just forget about it. Move forward. You were sparked. But that would have took out an elephant. So there's no shame in that. I've watched that again. That was an incredible knockout. Beautiful knockout. Okay, we're going to go into... Listen, Rick, if people want to talk about Canelo, we'll talk about Canelo. That's what they want to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Let's just follow the people. Let's go.
I just wanted to get Sparko off my brain.
I understand.
I'm not laughing that he was knocked out.
No,
as you know, I've been a big Dillian White fan.
Yes.
I like him. I think he makes good fights. I think he's a cool guy. But when he comes out with his statement like that, we've got to address that here. If we didn't address it, we wouldn't be the people that we are. Would we, Ralph, if we didn't address it? I mean, we got to address stuff like that.
Hey, I made a video on it, so I addressed it. So how can we not address it? Okay, so Rick, Earn with Hearn up in the building. I thought Eddie was paying us a visit. Earn with Hearn. Rick, do you think Oscar's comeback would even sell, and what type of opponent could you see against him?
I could see a Sergio Martinez in with him. The guy he just won over. He's number 6 in the BA now. I don't know why, but I could see him against another guy 40, his own age, 45. Oscar's like 47.
Yeah,
I could see that. Would it sell? It would sell. It would sell one time. It would sell one time just to see it. Yes, it would sell at least one time.
Could you see him against Fernando Vargas?
No, Fernando Vargas can't walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time. Please, no.
Oh Lord!
Shouldn't be anywhere near a boxing ring.
Oh Lord! Oh Lordy! Oh Lordy! No, it's been asked again. Can Dazn be saved, Rick?
Yes, they need a real boxing guy like myself that knows what the prices should be, how good the fights are, name value. They're TV executives. They don't know nothing about boxing. I'm a hardcore boxing guy. I know my business. Yes. Everybody can't be wrong. Everybody should go to glazerboxing.com.
Tell them,
go look at my all new website, all revised, and go look at the testimonials from the icons of the boxing business, Hall of Famers, all big shots in the business, what they say about me. That's what they told me to put up there.
Tell them.
So there you go.
Tell them.
I know my business. You know what the hooker said to her customer? Stop pulling on my ears. I know my business.
Dame.
5 hours.
Yeah. Yes, and I forgot to call them. Special name for them is the Super Chat Dominators. Everybody who donates is a Super Chat, not donators. Everybody else that donators over here, it's Dominators. Okay, and it is much appreciated. Freddie,
any offers less than 5 hours, we got another name for you. Come up with at least 5.
No. Anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all good over here, Rick.
I'm kidding.
I know. I'm kidding. I know. What's the next heavyweight event? Well, what is it? When's Dubois fight?
It's Dubois. They don't know yet. It was supposed to be in October. Now it's going to be in November. They just haven't come up with an exact date yet. But Dubois, Joey, supposedly, reputedly, allegedly. And then also in December, we're going to have Joshua and Pulev, which is the mandatory #1 contender.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have Fury and Tyson Fury and Wilder. He's going to sparkle out Wilder. There you go.
Sparked out. Wilder's going to get sparked out, mate. Sparked out. Yeah. But Dillian White's rematch is going to be in November, allegedly.
Yeah, that's another one. They got some good fights coming up. They got some real career-defining fights. Wilder loses to Fury. He's done at the top echelon of wage earning. Dillian White loses to Povetkin. He's done. So at the top. So you got Joshua. He can't afford to lose to anybody because of that embarrassment with Andy Ruiz. So you know what? They all got to win. And Fury. I mean, Fury. As far as Fury goes, Fury can take a loss and still be on top because people want to see him fight, but he ain't losing to Wilder, so it don't matter. He's going to play with Wilder. He's going to make Wilder look like he never fought before. Wilder makes himself look like he never fought before, let alone the Fury skills.
What should Wilder do? Because I don't see him beating Fury. I really don't see it.
What should he do?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Take step aside money.
That's what I say. I really do think that he needs to just forget about
what I would do if I had Fury. I have him take step aside money as much as he can get. Have Al Heyman put him on Fox, regular Fox. Get him a duck that stands right in front of him. That they can knock out in 1 or 2 rounds, and then while that other fight takes place, the rematch, go get him another stifferoo. And then when those guys are finished fighting, then he'll be in position again.
We got Jose Zepeda versus Ivan Branachik.
Listen, you better stay away from those Mexican names.
Yeah,
it's Jose Zapata.
Yeah, Zapata. You want to talk about that, Rick? How do you feel about that?
A sensational fight. Both guys are action, dead game fighters. That's like a high class Mickey Ward. That's like a more skillful version of Mickey Ward and Gaddy. That's going to be a war. I don't know if it's not going to be on that level because those guys got more skills and they have more defense. But it's going to be a hell of a fight, no question about it.
And then that's on October the 3rd, and then on where is this? Friday the 9th. That's Saturday. The Friday the 9th, we got Emmanuel Navarrete versus Ruben Villa.
That's on October 9th this week?
That's on Friday. No, October, not September.
Oh,
October.
October 9th. Yeah, that's going to be a sensational fight. Yep. Yep. Copper's got some good shit coming up, folks. Some good stuff.
Well, the week later, on the Saturday the 17th, they got Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez.
Doesn't get any better than that, folks.
That's going to be awesome.
That's the one they're all talking about.
That's the one.
Nobody not talking about that fight.
Everybody's talking about that fight. That's one hell of a fight. And there's another fight everybody's talking about that we're going to talk about shortly. And on Friday, a week later, they got Arthur Beterbiev versus Adam Dines. He's
German. It's
Dines.
Yes.
And then on the Saturday, the 31st, you got Inoue versus Maloney.
Good fight.
Awesome.
Good fight. I'm looking forward to all those fights, folks. All those fights. Everybody else should be too.
100%. 100%. Okay. So let's put the markings back up there and let's get back into the chat. I ain't forgot you. I have not forgot you. Damn. Okay, where was I? So Freddie Mars, much appreciation. And then where are we now?
Freddie, let me give you my account number. Send me my half. Just kidding. Rick is such a knowledgeable chap. So thank you, Heinrich. Much appreciated. And I'm German American.
German American. There we go.
Thank you, Heinrich.
Heinrich's been coming here for a long time. Heinrich Schmitz. Okay, so will the PBC numbers be good during the pandemic, these pandemic times?
No, they won't. No, people aren't watching for free right now. The ratings are down in every sport. NBA's down 40%. Their rankings, NASCAR is down. Every sport's down right now, and those are free. Imagine if they got to pay. It's not going to be good. Very, very, very ugly.
It's a bad time. It's a bad time.
Yep.
It's a bad time for PPV right about now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, a question I had in my mind. Where does Canelo go? If people are saying Canelo's gonna go here, Canelo's gonna go there, who are gonna pay Canelo? Who are gonna pay Canelo 35 mil a fight?
Nobody. He'll end up forming it. He's got his own promotional company, Canelo Promotions. He'll actually hire somebody to run the company for him, and he'll have to go to work out something with somebody as far as a guarantee, like a TV network, let's say Fox, Showtime, and let's say Showtime with a guarantee X amount of buys or dollars per show or something like that, and then they'll do it on Showtime pay-per-view or something like that. I can see that happening. But okay, or he just does his own pay-per-view. Period. Who knows? But it's everybody can forget about Bob Arum, Al Heyman, and all that kind of stuff right now. If he stays with his own, I don't think he's going to stay with his own. That's Eddie Hearn. I just can't see these things happening. A lot of ugly situations here.
Yes.
Is this a similar situation, Andre Ward? Nah, not really. The dollars were a lot less. You're talking about $5 million, not 35 million. And he had an issue with his promoter, but in reality, it's a little similar, but not much.
A little similar, but not much. Triple G hanging out on the course, hoping for a Tiger Woods style revival. Okay. So. Where's he going? Where we going? Ruben Guerrero says Frank has been talking about Triple D Usyk if WBO is dropped. Does Rick think Frank is under pressure from BT to push Triple D? You're looking perplexed there. I think we're referring to the fact that the WBO.
No, because he's got Arum in his back pocket. He's always got Arum. Arum gets TV money over here. All he does is have to bring Dubois over here, and he'll be on mainstream TV in America. So why would he be on? And it'll be streamed. It'll be shown back there on whatever they want to put it on. Arum's not going to let Frank Warren get. Arum and Frank Warren are very close. Aaron's not going to let Frank get trapped in it. Just like he didn't let Frank get trapped with this thing with Fury after the first fight when the kid got robbed. When Fury got robbed, Aaron came to the rescue, guaranteed everybody all kinds of money, and you know, Aaron's Aaron. As long as Frank Warren's and he has a fabulous relationship with Aaron, nobody's gonna back Frank Warren into a corner. But Bob wouldn't allow that. Trust me.
Yes. Okay, so Earn with Hearn says, Rick, if you dropped $100 bill and Lou DeBilla picked it up, would he give it back to you?
Listen, he's a scum-sucking pig. And scum-sucking pigs are just that. No, he would. He's a scum.
Damn. Earn with Hearn really knows how to try and get people triggered. MIH events up in the building. Hi, Rafi and Rick. Thank you for accepting my Facebook requests. If one of the fighters you was working with, Rick, failed a drug test, would you scream and shout and show him the door, or do you put an arm around him?
It depends what the drug was.
Yeah.
Number one, and it depends on who the fighter was, my personal relationship with the guy. It was just a financial transaction where the guy said, hey, represent me, and I didn't know him from Adam. And it was something like, it was some kind of drug that would have been harmful to the other fighter. I would be pretty pissed off. I'd have to really think about that. Depends.
Yes. Good to have you up in here. MIH Promotions, and happy birthday the other day. Okay, so I think Usyk should base himself here in the UK, says Ruben Guerrero.
Well, I think that's the reason why he's fighting Chisora, because I think Eddie wants to start promoting him in the UK, and that's a good kickoff win for him if he gets by him. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's why he did that. To get the people familiar with him, to build them up in the UK. I think it's the start of a build-up.
Yes. Okay, so the zone schedule last year, does he mean last year? Yeah, last year was great, says Jay Perez.
It was great. And it should have been great this year would have been great this year if it wasn't for a pandemic. I can't blame the zone for that. The only thing I can blame the zone is for three things. They overpaid Canelo to start with because they were bidding against himself. They were putzes. Yeah. Okay. I can blame them for not saying that saying that Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders are not premium opponents. Okay, and I can blame them for how they've conducted themselves in this negotiation. I can blame them for those three things. I can't blame them for imposing a force majeure. I can't blame them for their at right now, but I will blame them for not negotiating, not recognizing they're wrong. I think that's a big stickler in the thing about who the premium opponents are, because it says it right in the lawsuit. So they're taking that very seriously, and I would too. I'd be very offended. I'd be very offended if I was those fighters, Billy Joe Saunders and McCallum Smith, them not to be called premium fighters. I don't know what their description of premium fighters are. Now they mentioned those two MMA guys, those two UFC guys, and they mentioned Oscar. So if they better figure out what an attraction is and what a premium fighter is, because there's no correlation there. A fighter can be a great fighter, not be a premium attraction. A guy can be a premium attraction, not be a great fighter. So they better get that all straight.
Yes.
How does the Charlo and Javante pay-per-view numbers do in prediction on this fight? They do lousy. Both shows who do lousy pay-per-view numbers. I like the Charlo brothers, both of them, barely. I can see both. I can see the Charlos going 0-2 that night. Yeah. I can see the Charlos going 1-1. If they go 2-0, that won't be a miracle, but that'll be great for the Charlos. And especially for those LDBCers, because they will not be depressed if both Charlos win. If one of those Charlos, if they both lose, they'll be suicidal, those dumb bastards. Javante Davis, it depends what the weight is. If it's really going to be 30, unless Davis, I know Davis has trouble making weight right now. So if he does make the weight, Brown. Davis. He'll be weak at the weight.
Yeah.
I figure Davis is going to win, but it's no walk in the park, especially 130 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a given. It's not a foregone conclusion, that fight. Absolutely not. Rick, do you think no pal boxer excellence or whatever? How do you do, Rick? Do you think Triple G's contract is also being renegotiated?
That's speculation. I wouldn't think it is, because he's fighting his mandatory, and if they go to do that, he's got a lawsuit. Definitely got a lawsuit, no question about it.
Yes.
So I don't think they need that heat right now.
For real. And Kong made me laugh there. Says maybe it was Dillian's spirit that got up right away. Maybe his spirit got up right away, and he had an out-of-body experience, but his body was catching Z's.
Well, you know what? That's a funny comment. But there was no count, and he was asleep. I don't know if that's not sparked out. We need a new definition of sparked out. I'm laughing my ass out. Rick, did you see Comney said TPO's power is overrated? Yeah, after he got knocked out cold with one punch, he was falling all over the place. Yeah, I am laughing.
In the second round.
First time he clipped him with a good shot, he went to sleep, but his power's overrated. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. We'll have to, what's that? Was the Povetkin KO worse than the Joshua did to Dillian? Yeah, because he went to sleep immediately.
Yeah.
Went to sleep immediately.
One, the guy was like laid out, toes up, legs like this, out, eyes shut, little quiver action there.
Rick's a terrible guy sometimes. Love Dillian, but he was counting sheep. Once Canelo and Oscar settle this dispute, how do they still trust each other and conduct business? Well, they conduct business through solicitors, as far as lawyers, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it'll get better. It'll get better before it'll get better. But Canelo's not easy to deal with. He is a diva. There's no question about it.
Yo, Rick. It's a question I've been asking people. What is describe Canelo's personality from what you know of him? That's what I've been asking people in general. I say I don't know, but people say he's only likable to a point. That's not a good sign. Who says that? Generally,
couple people that know him in the business, they say he's likable to a point.
My problem with Canelo is that I don't know nothing about him. He don't put no story out there. He's not promoted. He's just Canelo. There's no nothing. He's just Canelo.
There's stuff out there. But not. You're right about that. But overall, you're right about that. Let's see. Heinrich's got another one. White against Wilder. Who is your favorite? Boy. Both don't have the best chins. Both are damaged goods. Anything can happen.
These views are Rick Glazer's and Rick. I'm gonna have a disclaimer. I'm gonna have a lawyer write up a disclaimer. These views are Rick Glazer's and don't necessarily reflect the views of the Rafi. OMG. Okay, Rick, send the Zone a proposal. Talk to the Zone, Rick. Talk to the Zone. So long as it doesn't affect your Wednesday nights.
You know what they're going to tell me? You have a master's degree or you're a lawyer. Where'd you graduate? What law school did you go to? They're not looking for guys like me. They're not looking for real boxing guys. They want people in these suits that look good and wear these pink shirts with the funny looking ties. And that ain't me. Rick, I'd walk in there with my shirt hanging out, my custom-made shirt hanging out, nice pair of dress jeans, nice pair of Italian loafers, and say, "Hey, I've arrived. I'm here.
I'm the Rick. I'm the Rick. Where's my office? Where's my office?
It wouldn't even come down to that. I wouldn't get that far. I'd have one meeting with them, they'd be repulsed. Because I tell the truth. They don't want These people don't want to hear the truth. They want to have smoke blowed up their ass.
Rick, something needs to change over there. Something needs to change
Oh,
over.
we know that. I mean, that's the obvious. That's the absolute obvious.
What's going on here? What's going on here? I got the Aldi store all by myself today, Ralph. I got the Aldi store. Okay. I don't know who the hell this is. I don't think. But I'm glad you got Aldi. You got Aldi to yourself. Hopefully you picked up some bargains in the fruit and vegetable department. Okay. So Ruiz and Povetkin would be an interesting fight to see.
Yeah, it'd be a very good fight, but how you gonna make the fight? Well, one's with Eddie and one's with the Heyman, and that won't happen unless it's a mandatory or eliminator, and probably won't even happen then. Probably not, but it's a good fight. I agree with that, 100%.
100%. Do you think Berlanga is ready for Steven Nelson?
You better ask if Steven Nelson's ready for Berlanga. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Belanga's fighting Lionel Bellows. I actually made the fight. I booked the fight. Booked Bellows for the fight. That's on October 17th. I'm not looking at my stuff, but I think it's October 17th.
Yeah.
And I really believe that he'll be ready for Steven Nelson next. Now, whether Top Rank does that or not, Top Rank may want to maneuver both into the WBO rankings and, both get them rated and make it an eliminator or, maybe make it for a vacant title or some friggin' thing. You don't know what they're going to do, but Belanga's the real deal. Steven Nelson's a good B+ fighter. And Berlanga looks like the real deal to me. I mean, you don't knock out 15 guys in a row in the first round. The last guy was a step-up fight.
Yeah.
And then the guy who had a reputation of being a solid guy, good amateur, and he was blown out in one round. I mean, this guy puts the mitts on you, you're going to sleep.
Yeah, it seems very clear. I want to see him in round 3.
Right. I want to see him in round 2.
OMG. Baby steps. Okay, so one of mine. Jamel WBO says Jamel. Let's talk about the Jamel Herring thing. We haven't talked about that. Have we? When was that?
Nope. We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, the Jamel Herring thing. Did he quit? That's what everybody's saying. Did he?
No. Okay. He was injured. He had a bad cut. He could. Okay. The doctor said he couldn't see. The doctor moved his hand in front of his eye. His fucking hand, and his head didn't even move. The guy. The guy was a Marine, in action Marine. Yeah. The guy was an Olympian for the United States. The guy falls down to his ankles. How could anybody even think that? This guy quit. Yeah. The guy was intentionally headbutted. Everybody erred in that fight. Everybody erred. And what I mean by everybody, first of all, is let's go to Tony Weeks. Never took 2 points away, only took 1. The rules say 2, but okay, he took 1 away. Okay. He never warned both fighters. He only warned the one. He should have told Jamel Herring, brought him to center, and no retaliation. Well, I'm going to take points away from you. Never did that. Okay? Lost control of the fight. Okay? Then it says in the rules that once, unless you stop the fight immediately for an intentional headbutt, that's a disqualification. It will go to the scorecards later in the fight. That's bullshit. I don't care what those rules say, the unified rules. If a referee is the lord and master of that fight, and he has sole discretion after an intentional headbutt, intentional foul of any type that causes injury to DQ a guy. That's bullshit. I don't care about that rule. That rule doesn't mean shit. That just means, to me, if the fighter, if the what do you call it, doesn't make a decision on it, whether it was intentional, he doesn't DQ. Okay, we go to the scorecards. Bullshit. That was total within the jurisdiction of the referee. Okay, he's the lord and master in there. So there's no way. Just like a starter at a racetrack, at the auto racing track, the starter, he's the lord and master. Yeah. Okay, it's just like a pit boss in Vegas. He's the lord and master.
Mm-hmm.
No different. No different.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so Texera still obligated to
Yes,
defend.
he's going to be fighting as mandatory. Correct.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. And what else we got here? Danny Garcia says this Spence fight. I feel like my career is where I want to be. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm going to take Spence.
Well, you think he's going to say I feel bad and my career is not where it's supposed to be?
So we talked about this before. But give us another couple of seconds on this. Well, what's there to say? I mean, Spence, we don't know what Spence is going to look like. You can't really say anything. What can you say? We don't know which Spence is going to turn up. Was it the old Spence or is it a new Spence? The old one?
It's going to be an old one, but not in that sense. It's going to be an old Spence as in wore out.
Uh-oh.
You cannot survive, get ejected from a car while you're drunk at 110 miles an hour, the police estimate, and skid on your body on pavement and dirt 125 yards and be fine. No way, no how. You'll have lingering injuries of different types. Now, they may not show up every day, your everyday life. In other words, you might feel a little grouchy when you get up in the morning and your back hurts a little bit. But when you get out to competition, when the other guy's trying to hit your back and you lost your teeth and your jawline had to be rebuilt and stuff, does this sound like a recipe for success against a guy who's an A fighter, who's a two-time world champion himself? I don't think so. Red Glove Militant in the house.
In the house.
Hit that like pipe. My main man. I get excited. I see the Red Glove Militant. I get excited. The name. I get excited. The Red Glove Militant.
Red Glove up in the building.
But I got to complain about the Red Glove Militant. What do you think? You're late. You're almost marked absent.
Yeah, almost marked absent. Almost marked absent, but he still got in there before the bell rang. We only got a couple of minutes before the bell rings. And so we got to crack on. Let me get a couple of mine in. Lomachenko says, Teofimo will eat my punches and his words. OMG.
The more I look at this fight, the more I lean towards Lomachenko. Teofimo is going to be bigger on fight night because he'll blow up to 155, 157 pounds, and the other guy will blow up to 140. But I don't think that's the telltale of the fight. I just think the boxer, the ring genius of Lomachenko, the speed, the agility, the brains, I think that'll all show up. That'll all rise to the top that night.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be a Calzaghe, Jeff Lacey type of fight like that bad. But I think that I just think that this, Teofimo is a lot better than Lacey. Yeah. But now this guy's unique.
Yes, he is. And I think we got another question right there.
I think Kelly Petty remembers it. I personally thought he was retired because his power didn't seem the same as Utia, but he's a big power body builder now. Looks huge. I hope he stays retired. He must have 3-4 million saved up. Please stay retired. Please.
Yeah.
Please. This is just getting out of control.
Yeah.
Please stay retired, Kelly Pavlik.
All these guys coming back. Oscar's talking about it.
I think it's a disgrace and it's a shame. I like Oscar. I think he's cool, but I wish he wouldn't come back. I'll leave it like that.
Yeah, 100%. Damn, it's a good thing this thing came up because it's one of the big.
No, Aram is not protecting Bud. It's the opposite way around. Heyman's protecting his schmucks from Crawford. Please.
Okay, so it's a good thing.
What are the legalities to make? There's no legalities. Heyman's got to come to the table with his fighters, and he's not willing to do that. He doesn't want to offer Heyman the C fighters. He doesn't want to offer him the A fighters.
Why the hell did Crawford sign up again with Top Rank when all the
because he's a loyal guy, and they offer him $5 million.
ABC.
And because they offer him $5 million guaranteed a fight, you can fight as many times as you want a year. He chose to fight twice. You can fight up to 5 times a year, and then he guaranteed him $5 million a fight. And I'd rather be with ESPN and Top Rank myself. I don't think he's wrong. It's not his fault. It's a credit to him that those schmucks don't want to fight him. Okay, it's a credit to Crawford. It's not Crawford's fault. It's not Aaron's fault. Blame Al Heyman. Everybody else in history of boxing, Don King and Bob Arum always made the biggest fights. Oscar and Trinidad, Duran and Leonard, always made the biggest fights. Now they don't. Now it's all blocked by Heyman. Remember, Arum's the common denominator here between the great past and the current. Arum will do that fight in a heartbeat, just like he's doing Loma and Teofimo. Arum's and no matter who wins, Arum's the loser in that fight. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, the show might make money, but he's got 2 stars right now. Now he's going to be down to 1 star of the 2. So listen, I believe I know Heyman's at fault for that. You can't blame Crawford for that. You're blaming Crawford for being loyal and for getting guaranteed $5 million a fight.
Well, people are blaming Crawford. People said he should. People said the competition's over at the PBC. So why did he sign for top?
No, the competition. It's only that way because Heyman won't let him fight. Let his guys fight Crawford because they'll lose.
Okay,
that's not. You're not giving credit. Well, everybody says that. I'm sorry, not you. Everybody gives credit, not giving credit to Crawford's abilities and his loyalty. They're faulting him for loyalty and abilities. Come on now.
But he's cutting his own nose off. He's cutting his own nose off when the competition.
No, he didn't. Heyman's fighters fight once a year, once every 9 months. They offer him 2 fights a year minimum, 5 fights a year maximum. You fight as many times as you want, up to 5 times. He made a good deal. He made a deal that he was comfortable with. Listen, he's the co-manager of Jamel Herring, the top rank. They signed him up and they made him a world champion. They got Steve Nelson with him that he's the manager of too, along with Bomac. They're doing the right thing. Arum's keeping all his guys in action. All his guys are happy. This was a big package deal. Bomac's an announcer on ESPN2 when he's able to do it, when he's not training fighters. I mean, come on, guys. There's more to this than just fighting those guys over there. There's a lot to this deal. Everybody's happy. The only ones that aren't happy are the people on the other side of the street that like the LDBCers, the Haymanites, and the Agenda crew. Okay? They're guys that get sparked out, as the expression is over there.
This is the expression over here.
Sparked out on American soil.
OMG. Okay. So it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Let
me ask you a question. How come Eddie Hearn and Aaron made all these deals? They made Hooker and Jose Luis Ramirez. They made a ton of deals together in the last 2-3 years.
They made Lomachenko versus Campbell, and now they're making
Cal Brooken and Craw. Yeah, it's Heyman. Heyman is the common denominator to the problem.
Heyman's the blocker. Is that what you're saying, Rick? Is that what you're telling me? Heyman's the blocker. Heyman's the blocker.
Put it this way, if you were out with Heyman for cocktails, he'd be the cock blocker. He'd tell the girl, "Oh no, you don't want to go with him."
Hate those guys. I've known a couple in my time, unfortunately. But anyway, so yeah, it's a good thing. Pele Grosso, thank you very much because you've spurred my memory. I wanted to talk a little bit more about about Gary Russell Jr. and
Okay, Haney, real quick. We got 2 minutes on this because at 6 o'clock, I get automatically hungry Eastern time, 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock over in the UK. Automatically, I get hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the deal. Okay, he's going to move up 2 complete weight classes. If assuming that Russell loses the fight, he can still go back down next year, fight his mandatory, his WBC featherweight title.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no-brainer for him. For Haney, he beats a little bit of a name with some credibility. It's a lot better than fighting that Gamboa. They used up Yorkers Gamboa. Oh my God, that was embarrassing. So it's a win-win situation. Each guy's getting $1.5 million. That's $3 million. That's a very makeable fight. There's no reason that fight should be made. But, no question.
No question at all. What's going on here? Oh, we got Troy up in the building. Okay,
Hey,
so
Troy.
hey, Troy. So Troy says the truth will come out when Spence gets hit and hurt. Garcia by TKO.
Yeah, I agree. You know, but don't say TKO because it could the corner. You could just throw the towel in between corner. Garcia by stoppage somewhere along the line. I think.
Yeah, yes.
I think his punch resistance will be gone. I have a feeling his punch resistance won't be what it was.
Okay, and with that, we've come to the magic hour, ladies and gentlemen. We've given you another edition, another episode of Ask Rick 22, boxing talk with Rafi 170. And Rick, we've done it again. We've got through another one. It's been a good time. Once again, very informative. And I'm sure that everybody in here is appreciative. So make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. And Rick Glaser, we've done it again. And same time next week, Rick, we've done it.
I'm ready for 23 next week. I hope all your listeners, all your fans, your followers, your subscribers, I hope they're all ready. Enjoy your grub, Rick. Thank you. I will. You want to know what I'm having for dinner?
Go on.
I'm having corn on the cob with a little sea salt and a little butter.
Yeah.
And I'm having some little cheese and pepperoni with these nice crackers, nice Italian crackers.
Uh-huh.
And I might have a couple chicken wings. I'm thinking we got some chicken wings that we made.
Where's the chicken in there? Put some meat in there. Put some meat on it.
Yeah, maybe not tonight. Listen, folks, it's been great. Ralph, thanks for having me again.
100%. 100%.
Ask Rick. We'll have to wait till next week.
100%.
Okay? And check my details out. Okay, at Twitter at Real Rick Glaser 1. Pay attention now. I come out in Twitter in January. I got like 2,200 some followers. There's fake Rick Glaser accounts out there. Don't pay attention to those fake ones.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you very much. And that was Rick Glaser. Much appreciated. Much appreciation goes out to the Rick Glaser. And Rick's wife feeds him good. Well, you know, you can't work like a horse. I heard it from Lee Haney down there. Where's he come from? Atlanta. He once said, you can't work like a horse and eat like a bird. You just can't do it. You just cannot do it. Yeah, and so we've had another good one, another great one, as a matter of fact, another great one with Rick Glaser. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. With some more chats, with some more talk about this, because this subject ain't going away. It ain't going nowhere. And so we most certainly have to do some more talking on the topic. Okay, but in the meantime, I don't think is there anything else left to say? Is there anything else left to say? The only thing left to say is, hey, smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone for coming in. And yeah, we're going to talk some more tomorrow. But in the meantime, the only thing left for me to say is blessed.